What's going on there? The Black Hokage here, aka TVH, and to be honest, Soul Calibur is probably one of my favorite game franchises that I spent a lot of hours putting in work online and creating characters with its deep customization system. I'm not the best, but I've always thoroughly enjoyed the games. During the 2017 Video Game Awards, Bandai Namco announced that the next entry in the series would arrive in 2018. Naturally, I was excited because although the gameplay is solid, one of the best things about the Soul Calibur series are the guest characters. Characters like Link, Spawn, Yoda, Darth Vader, and Ezio all brought some certain type of energy to the game. I'd imagine they continue this trend with Soul Calibur 6, so it got me thinking, what guest characters would I like to see in Soul Calibur 6? My first suggestion would be Geralt from the Witcher series. I think this is a great pick for multiple reasons. Soul Calibur is a weapon combat game and Geralt uses a sword. Geralt is also a Witcher who slays big ass monsters for a living. Soul Calibur has always been story driven, and it just so happens that the series staple Nightmare is a big ass monster that needs to be slayed. So I feel like tying Geralt into the Soul Calibur universe makes complete sense. Not to mention that this character is a fan favorite since the release of The Witcher 3. I don't think anyone would complain about seeing more Geralt in their game. So this next suggestion might seem like a reach, but just hear me out. Soul Calibur wasn't announced for the Switch, but maybe one day it will be. That means Nintendo needs their own guest character similar to how Link appeared in Soul Calibur 2 for the GameCube. The Switch is popping right now in these streets, so if Bandai Namco was trying to bring Soul Calibur 6 to it, they'd have to let my boy Fox McCloud appear in the game, specifically the Fox from Star Fox Adventures. Fox may be known for flying R-Wings, but Star Fox Adventures was a very slept-on game that featured Fox adventuring on foot. In Adventures, his main weapon of choice was a staff. He could play something like Keelik, but he has gadgets to mix things up as well as speed. Let him combo his staff attacks with single laser shots, sort of how you could shoot with Cervantes. He could also have various other utilities to keep opponents on their toes if they get creative. When it comes to the story, just say his R-Wing passed through a dark hole and he ended up in another dimension trying to fight his way home. Boom. Commander Shepard might come across as another reach, but I think they can make it work. Shepard does utilize an energy sword, which could be used as a primary weapon in this game. You can combine that energy sword with his biotics for some awesome combos. Imagine using pull to bring your enemy to you as a catalyst for a combo, or how about using push to push your opponent out of the arena when they're not paying attention. Obviously, you couldn't use the more advanced biotics for balancing issues, but I think you could combine the basics with physical play. On top of that, you have the male and the femme Shepard, so that's two easy skins off the rip. I guess it would just be kind of hard to tie Shepard into the Soul Calibur universe after what happened in Mass Effect 3. My next suggestion is the one that I think you guys will like. I gotta go with my man's Corvo from the Dishonored franchise. I think Corvo makes complete sense for Soul Calibur. He's a master with the sword and knife, and he has a large toolkit to pull from in his source material. Corvo is acrobatic, precise, can teleport, bend time, possess people, and more. His blink ability could easily be used similar to something like Scorpion's or Supergirl's off-screen rushdown. I feel like his toolkit would allow for some interesting combos, and when it comes to the story, listen, just say the Outsider sent Corvo to assassinate Nightmare for whatever reason and you're good. Now there's no way in hell I could ever see this happening, but I gotta throw some wild suggestions out there because that's just what I do, baby. What about Steve Fox? He is my favorite character in Tekken, and I think they can make him work. Just take his boxing gloves off and give Steve some brass knuckles to boost his strength. He'd be a weak character from range, but he'd be deadly on the inside. He's a character from another fighting franchise with his own moveset, so it's not like they'd have to come up with some wild combo system for him. Not to mention Bandai Namco also publishes Tekken, so I feel like it wouldn't be too much to bring these two properties together like they have in the past with Devil Jin and Soul Calibur V. I'm just trying to figure out what would be Steve's story in Soul Calibur, like what would be his purpose for even being in this universe. Now, a joke character suggestion that I had is Sly Cooper. Now, I know this one is a bit of a reach. Now, actually, it's a super reach due to the difference in art style, but Sly does wield a cane that he uses as a weapon. I can see that cane being used as an extension of his arms to pull people closer in to initiate a combo. Sly is also acrobatic and stealthy, maybe give him some type of vanishing mechanic, and then he swoops down on his opponent for an overhead. His story could be something as simple as the thievius raccoonist lets Sly the Nightmare's sword, and then he tries to steal it because he heard it is worth a bunch of money. The only problem is the art style. I mean, Sly is cel-shaded and Soul Calibur is more realistic looking, and I'm using realistic with air quotes. From a fighting standpoint, I can see it with Sly. I just don't know how they would make it fit with the whole Soul Calibur art style without it looking all weird. Originally, I wanted to go with Death from Darksiders 2, but then I thought it'd make more sense if they chose Darksiders 3's Fury. Darksiders 3 isn't out at the moment of this video, so this could give Bandai Namco complete creative freedom when it comes to designing her fighting style. All we know about her is that she uses this type of chainsword. This could be good promotion for both parties. Soul Calibur gets a unique character they can boast as playable first in their game, and Darksiders devs, they get free promo for Darksiders 3. Hell, Dante, the new one that nobody likes with the black hair, he was first featured in PlayStation All-Stars before DMC ever dropped. Plus, Fury looks all demonic. That fits right in with the tone of Soul Calibur. Make her story something about being a manipulative evil force in the background, and she's manipulating everybody, and that's a recipe for success. I think Sora could be a good fit for Soul Calibur for multiple reasons. He wields a Keyblade, which is a unique weapon, plus he utilizes magic, which could be used to combo his moves. We all know Kingdom Hearts 3 ain't coming out until 3005 with Childish Gambino, so let him be the guest character on the PS4 version of Soul Calibur 6. It will shut down Kingdom Hearts fans for a little bit because they finally get some new content with Sora in it. Zero Suit Samus could be another character to appear on the Switch version if a Switch version is announced. I don't think regular Samus works because Power Suit Samus relies too heavily on projectiles. Zero Suit, she has this little electric whip, a stun gun, and she throws hands. I think Samus in this nerf state makes more sense. The story would be easy to do too. Samus could be hunting down another Metroid when her ship runs out of fuel and she crash lands on this mysterious planet where Soul Calibur's going down. Her power suit has no energy, so she's got to fight her way through the ranks of Zero Suit to get back home. For those of you unaware, a PC version of Soul Calibur 6 was announced, so I think it makes sense to go with Half-Life hero Gordon Freeman for that version. Half-Life 3 ain't ever coming out, so you might as well give your fans this much. Plus, Gordon is always pictured with a crowbar, so give him that crowbar and let him go to town on his opponents. Maybe give him a special move where he can use his gravity gun to remove the enemy's weapons out of their hands temporarily, leaving them to only be able to punch and kick at short ranges. Give us something, because you ain't gonna give us Half-Life 3, Valve. And thanks for watching my video. If you're new here, hit the subscribe button and tap the bell icon so you'll never miss another video. Also, consider pledging my Patreon. It helps keep the lights on. There's a link in the description box below. Peace.